It is the RIOT on Radio U. Our
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday podcast. Look, Nikki's here, guys. She's back again.
Yeah, I wasn't just here for yesterday.
Wasn't just a one-day thing. Well, Nikki, you get nervous. You're gone for so long. You come back, and it's like, well, what if she leaves us again?
I understand, and I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry that you have to have a life outside the show, too.
And that, I learned a lesson, I know better than that.
Yes, that's right. You should stop creating for yourself an identity that does not directly involve this.
Sure.
And
now I know, and now I understand.
I'm glad we finally just said the words, because it's the thought I've been thinking,
and now it's out there. It's out in the open.
To punish you for, and so now we've gotten it out there. We can. Hey, today in the show, let's talk about water. Let's talk about nerd rage. Let's talk about eating weed. Not weeds.
Weed.
And you know what? A shocking return to form with Trailer Tuesday emerging from nowhere.
I am super excited. While you have this pulled up and as you're listening to our podcast, join us at Radio U Riot on our Facebook page, and you'll learn more about our Trailer Tuesday.
And little Debbie camp brownies and so on and so forth. So you guys enjoy the podcast. We'll talk at you later.
Have a great day.
Bye.
What's that sound like?
Bye.
Is it, buddy? Is it the narwhal whale thing?
Bye, buddy.
That's
Hope you find your dad.
Sometimes a bad example is the best example. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Now, I've seen this before. Nerd rage. It's when you get someone that's nerdy and you talk about something they like, and, it's stupid, like Batman could totally beat up Superman.
But that's a prime example of what that usually is the outcome of.
Yeah, like Superman can totally outrun the Flash, or whatever. People get mad. Star Trek is better than Star Wars. These are things that to me...
Which captain was the best one?
I roll my eyes at. Like, I don't care. I think it's really dumb. But for some people, it's like they have a big rage button and somebody manages to reach in and hit that button. And I have sometimes mocked, but really more often ignored people when I see them in those fits, because I'm like, you know what? This is a waste of time. It doesn't matter, whatever. And if you had said to me, hey, do you have anything that causes you any kind of nerd rage? And I would have been like, no, that's ridiculous. I don't do that.
I feel like there's a tone of like you found something.
Oh,
something
man.
happened?
Oh, my gosh.
What happened?
I encountered something yesterday that is absolutely 100%. I experienced my own nerd rage. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had somebody tell me, not directly to my face, this was through mass media, that The Lord of the Rings was for children and that Game of Thrones was for adults.
Ooh, now you're right. Sit down on that one. You're getting heated again.
I'll tell you, I was ready to throw things that made me so mad.
You were. Did you reply back to the person, or did you just keep it?
Well, I had to decide.
Yeah.
Was I going to call them? Was I going to email them? Like, what was I going to do? How was I going to react to this? And then I was like, bro, you are nerd raging right now. Like, you are in the middle of a good old-fashioned, like, this is like the Millennium Falcon could be faster than the Enterprise. Like, that's the level of
that you're
stupid
at right
this
now?
is. But when I began to think about some of the shockingly childish things that happen in Game of Thrones versus
Oh, see, you can't even do it now. Why don't you just let it be, okay? Yeah, you need to keep breathing. I'm going to turn the fan on.
Antoine got a little hot under the collar.
I bet. Okay, well, I thank you for saying what made you mad, but I think if we talk about it anymore...
the thing is that, again, like, I do love Lord of the Rings, and you're like, the movies are fine. Obviously, I'm a fan of the books. That's what's really important, and et cetera, and so on. But I think the thing that did it, what did it, was the insinuation that one of them was incredibly immature while the other was the height of maturity.
Sure.
I feel like it reached in and actually touched multiple buttons at once, and I was just like, oh.
We're going to have to close that now, aren't we?
Oh, gosh.
Hey, you have the right. Even if you weren't like doing a traditional nerd rage, just most people... It's a sweeping statement we don't do.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, let's just move on. Even I get annoyed, and we don't want to say anything because it's fine.
Well, I mean, if we were going to say something about maturity, we'd need to take all our clothes off first.
Yes,
then we could talk about how mature we were.
With the Game of Thrones stuff. So, okay, well, thank you for letting us know.
But I'm fine.
It's not going to
affect my day.
Affect the day, exactly.
Nope,
we're on a different path today.
I'm bigger than that. I mean, I can handle it.
The Riot is an award-winning morning show.
It's literally a medal for sucking.
Now that is a medal for trying.
Okay.
Radio U.
Have you ever paid a premium to buy a bottle of water because you thought that water would be purer and therefore better for you? Nikki has. Tell him, Nikki.
What do you mean?
Tell him about your glacier water.
What do you mean by glacier water?
The stuff that you have flown in every other day so that you can have water that is as pure as water was 10,000 years ago.
No, but I am a fan of the San Pellegrino, a sparkling water. But I can buy in boxes from Costco. So
well, yeah, but see, Nikki has a thing about water. She needs it to be pure.
No, I just don't want it out of the water fountain upstairs that the water pressure loses it when someone flushes around it. Mm-hmm. So, to me, it's too tight in. So I just don't want the water.
What I really want to do is I want to lock Nikki in a room with a toilet for 2 days.
Why?
Because I
can't live without water for 2 days.
No, pretty soon you'd be like, that.
It's looking pretty good.
As long as I get it from the tank and not from the bowl, it's fine.
No, but thanks for reminding me of that in case I ever am in an emergency situation. I need to drink from the tank.
Tank, yes, please. Tank, not bowl.
Not the bowl.
Like, it's pretty bad if we're at the bowl. But you know what? It's fine.
When given the choice between tank water or glacier water, I think I'd go with the glacier water.
Okay, well, that's fair. What about a Poland Spring? Would you like to have some
water?
Isn't
that a company?
It is.
Yeah.
Poland Spring is a company that they say it's spring water. It's bottled at 5 different springs.
In Poland?
Well, I don't know that it's necessarily
Or is it like
Poland,
Minnesota? Like, you just don't know.
Well, there's a class action lawsuit that is now alleging that old Poland Springs is old fraudulent springs. Maybe you've heard of it. So the idea is that they say that there are man-made springs, a.k.a. it's just tap water.
Sure, and they're making it seem better than it is.
Not coming from a spring, which is in violation of FDA regulations.
Is it at least in Poland?
I don't think that's a thing.
No, not even?
I don't know where they got why they chose Poland. Because, let's be honest, if you look at the history of Poland, especially, Poland Springs is an old brand. You go back into the 70s and 80s, Poland was under, communist rule. So at that point, what you're getting is communist water. Be glad that there's water at all.
But it's not maybe as safe.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, they are suing, and they're saying, hey, it's a fraud. They've been lying to us the entire time.
They've said that about a few bottle water companies. Yeah. They're not the only one.
Hey, I straight up just assume that I'm getting tap
toilet water.
Well, no, different tea, but
bowl
thank you.
Water.
Yeah. The water I buy, I'll tell you what I buy. I buy the cheap freaking bottles of water at Costco.
Oh, yeah. The flat of them.
Yeah. You get 40 for $2.99. You're
like, where's this coming from?
That's post-flush water. I mean, it's so cheap. And I just keep it in my car for emergencies.
Yeah, in case you need it.
Just, fun. It's like, hey, what are you doing? Having fun, drinking water.
Just hanging out. I have some in the back.
Hanging out, drinking water. Just like everybody does.
You know how to have fun.
I know. I do. So they're suing. And they want big bucks because they say, hey, you know what? Poland is a lie. Poland is a whole lie.
You're not drinking the water you think you're drinking based on the packaging.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to try that glacier water, though, just to see what it tastes like. You're like, well, it just tastes like water. But what if it doesn't?
What if it's better?
What if it's so much better? But then it ruins water for me for the rest of my life. Because every time I drink from anything, I'm like, this is not good enough.
I don't want you coming back so snooty that you can't drink out of the toilet tank.
I can tell.
Okay? I don't want you to change like that.
You know what? I do keep a cup in there, so I just open the tank, dip it in there, get a little drink.
Well, then you're not Obi anymore.
Right.
If you're too good to do that.
I know. You're right. I don't want to grow past where I am.
So just make sure you stay the Obi that we appreciate.
Yeah. Hey, pass the 10 cup when you're done with it, Nikki. I want to take a dip.
lift the tank.
Okay. Well, it's hard to
lid.
do both.
Well, we can do it together.
The worst of the riot. Proof that you're already living in that dark future dystopia. Radio U.
Last night, yesterday in general, Nikki's had a very stressful time. She moved. Mm-hmm. She took all this time off. What you guys don't know is things that were supposed to be delivered never were. Things that were supposed to be installed never were. And the list goes on and on. It's
fine, but I had a couple of big companies let me down.
Companies that she has very publicly supported and loved and eaten their meatballs. And a lot of some of these companies have really not followed through in a way that they should have.
They were not there for me like they promised, and I paid them to be.
Mm-hmm. That's right. You got your refund, though, right?
I did.
You better believe
but
you
all
did.
The hassle.
Yeah, no.
Gosh,
sing it,
crazy.
soul sister. I'm 100% with you. You don't. At the end of the day, it's like I got my money back, but who pays me for my life?
Your time that was well spent, and then you're sad that you took whatever you wanted back. And
yeah,
I did that. I was supposed to have stuff installed, and 2 trips later, nothing came when scheduled, and so I went to the store and I said, okay, I'm going to cancel the order. Mm-hmm. And I did it based on principle of listen, guys, you can't keep doing this. But then afterwards you're like, but I really wanted it. And then you have remorse. Mm-hmm. But you got to stay strong.
Well, you know what that is? That is breaking up with somebody that you really like, mm-hmm. but they keep treating you poorly. And you finally say, look, I can't have this anymore. So you've worked through anger, but then you have to work through grief.
And you have regret, and you just go back and forth of am I going to call and I'm just kidding. Charge my credit card again.
I want us to get back together, okay?
But you have to be strong and not do it.
Yeah. So even today, still feeling the pull? Yes. I could tell. Nope. The way your eyes
It'll
went.
always be there.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Of what could have been a great relationship.
And wasn't.
Was not.
It's a shame. And it's on them. It is. Now, my suggestion to Nikki was to tell everybody that she was going to the store and then just not come back. So hey guys, I'm stressed out. I want to just all right guys, I'm going to go down and get a Sprite Zero from the Wendy's.
But then I just leave. I skip
that's
town.
right by the freeway, and then you just get on the freeway.
I don't think it's that hectic, but I see what you're saying there. Yeah.
It's just the thought. And everybody's like, where's Nikki? And you turn off your where's my iPhone on your phone.
They can never find me again.
Yours gone. You're off the grid. And then 2 years later, you show up and
you hear my laugh. It's like, she's back.
She's back. And I can't decide if I want you to show up completely disheveled, like you haven't cut your hair or whatever, or if I want you to show up with a much shorter hair and a business suit walking in with
it's a new
briefcase, all right, I'm prepared to begin.
Yeah, I've taken over, but no one knew it was me.
All right, everybody, meeting in the conference room in 5 minutes.
And she's back.
And then that's it. And then when we ask you where you've been, you act like you never left. I don't even know what you're talking about.
That seems really drastic for all that talk when really it was just, I didn't get a few things delivered, so I canceled my order.
Well, Nikki,
it's not worth leaving.
Just to be clear, I don't think in small things.
No, you go big.
I always think big. So when I imagine you going, I imagine you're gone for 2 years. Not an afternoon, not a 5-minute break outside just to catch your breath.
You're just 2 years now.
You're gone for 2 years.
Okay.
And again, you come back and it's drastic, it's fine. Come in. It's fine. I think
when you hear Obi, you're like, is that what you want me to do?
I don't know if I want you to do it.
Or would you just be amazed if I did it?
I would want to find you just so I could high five you and be like, yeah.
Why? That I skipped town?
No, I'm leaving.
Okay.
I have to go back. Someone has to do the show.
Yes, you're the one.
So, it's just a thought. All right. You just walk out and then, okay. What if instead of taking your car, I got 2 options. One, Batman Begins. You can pull the Bruce Wayne where you just get on the boat.
Just leave.
Or you could do Pee-wee's Big Adventure where you just end up on the train.
Sure.
And you make friends with the hobo guy that lives in the train car.
I'll probably just come to work. Right. I'm not ready to do that yet, but we'll see.
I want you to remember that when you feel trapped, quote unquote, I gave you options to get out.
True, and I never listened.
And you were like, you know what, I'll just come in.
Okay, I'll save it for later. I'll tuck that away in case things get really bad.
Ooh, and you know what, maybe we could sue those companies and be like, you know what, do you see, she lost 2 years of her life because you couldn't freaking deliver this thing for the closet? You people, look what you did.
Really, I'm okay.
You're not okay, Nikki.
It's not that bad.
You're going to be a trained person now.
Did you not want to call me a hobo?
I didn't say it.
Because you just said the trained person.
Well, and you'll notice I used a non-specific gender pronoun. So, or I guess it's technically a noun, but you understand, right? Is person a noun or a pronoun? I gotta look that up.
Recycling paper is like planting a tree. Recycling the riot is like burning down the rainforest.
We ain't gonna be in no fire, not today.
It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Hi, everybody. I don't know if you were listening, but it's time for us once again to take upon our shoulders that sacred duty of finding a really bad trailer.
We found one. Obi found a doozy.
And managing to post it on Tuesday.
By the way, good
Trailer
job on
Tuesday.
that. You posted something.
Just a happy accident, really. But it's back, baby. It's back. We're taking a look at Attack of the Killer Donuts.
When Obi first mentioned it, I said, I wonder if this actually is real. Even after watching the trailer, one wonders, is this really a movie that's been made?
It has been made, Nikki, though I really had to do some digging. Attack of the Killer Donuts was released, according to this, theatrically, though I really dallied, on July 8th, 2016.
So there's a full movie somewhere?
How about 98 minutes of a full movie?
Oh, boy.
Do you know that at 98 minutes, that makes it a longer movie than...
The Tower one?
Than The Dark Tower.
The Dark Tower.
This movie is longer than The Dark Tower. I don't know if that's good or bad, but
You're like,
whatever.
What's the movie about? Basically, it looks like from the trailer we have deducted that there's some sort of green ooze that gets into the deep fryer of a donut place. And so as the donuts are placed into the deep fryer, they become murderer donuts.
Well, yeah.
And then they attack.
Yeah, then they attack. Now, the one person whose face you might recognize in this mix is it stars C. Thomas Howell. And he...
No, what's that?
No. Like his face... Hang on, I'm looking at his... Because I can't remember what I recognize him from, but something. Still looking.
What's his name?
I'll tell you this.
C.W. Howell?
Period Thomas Howell. Howell. He was in E.T. That's what it is.
Really?
I knew I recognized him from somewhere. Yeah, he was in E.T., obviously. He was in E.T. and he was in a movie called The Outsiders, which is that book that a lot of people read that I never read, that they made the movie that I never saw. But, yeah, he was in E.T.
Way to really sell it.
You
and
know
him,
what?
too, as an actor.
Well, Nikki, I will tell you that there are a lot of different kinds of actors in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Some of them are what you call a working actor.
Sure. He was Jack's father in The Amazing Spider-Man from 2002 or 12.
He was in Red Dawn. But by working actor, I mean this. They just take a lot of roles, and they're there, to work. Some actors are like, I wouldn't dare be in that project. And C. Thomas Howell appears to be like, sure, I'll be there.
I'll be in the Attack of the Killer Donuts.
I'll be in your Donuts movie.
Now, at first, when you look at them, they're so cute. It's like a Muppets thing. Like, they're these little squishy-looking donuts, and then they, I don't know, through clay or whatever, put little fangs on them.
Yeah,
so
they have teeth at the donut hole.
They attack people, so that's cute. I think they were going for, that's dangerous, but they came out cute.
I tried to rent or buy it, but I can't seem to do that anywhere. So
it's that good.
Yeah.
Let us know if anybody finds the full movie.
I'll tell you, they released it Region 2 on Blu-ray last year, but it hasn't quite made it to these shores. At least it doesn't appear to have.
It was a Region
far.
1, so yeah. That's a different one.
So, you know what, though?
We got a trailer out of it.
Maybe.
If you want to watch it, it's at Radio U Riot, our Facebook page. Really selling it, we know, but if you want to see Attack of the Killer Donuts, there's a movie for that.
And just remember, it's still longer than The Dark Tower.
Even the trailer basically is.
Trailer.
Imagine a world where the riot never talks and it's glorious Radio U music for hours on end. Now, imagine the opposite of that. You're already there. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Let's say, and I'm not saying you did this, but this in this theoretical world, let's just say that you and your friend are out for a drive. Maybe we'll call it a Sunday afternoon drive. Now, you're young, but you're like an old person now.
You're
driving
doing
around.
that on a Sunday.
You're just driving, just having fun, listening to music and watching all the pretty colors the music makes. Oh, yeah, I forgot. You're smoking weed while you're driving around. That's part of what makes that drive so enjoyable, right? It's also part of why you like to drive slow and weave in and out of those lanes. Just
Perhaps not even on the lane at all.
taking your time, not really in a hurry. So some people in the area saw this happening in Van Buren County, Michigan, and they called the police and they're like, bros, those guys are so high right now. So the police went in, pulled them over, and they did the one thing that they could think to do when the police got there. They had all that weed.
Did they eat it?
Oh, yeah.
If I was a cop, I'd just be like, just wait 1 minute.
We're going to hang out here and
watch them eat it like we don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Well, the one guy, it doesn't say that she swallowed it, but she definitely had it all in her mouth when the cop got up to the car.
Maybe you wouldn't notice. Like, oh, you got a little something in your teeth.
Like,
is that oregano?
Mm-hmm.
I had a pizza.
So the guy driving, of course, the police kept asking him questions until finally he was like, okay, I'm high right now, and you're the best person, really.
They can't tell.
I love you so much.
Have you ever around someone who is perhaps like that or maybe had too much to drink? Like, they don't realize, which is why you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
They're totally out of it, and you're just looking like anybody could tell what's going on.
I do love how when somebody has had too much something and they think they're hiding it, and it's like, oh my gosh.
Like from a mile away, I caught it.
Could you be less obvious right now? The answer is no.
So can it really mess you up if you eat all that?
I don't actually know, but yeah. I mean, like, you figure marijuana edibles, like, that's why you can go buy yourself a brownie.
Yes, but I just know what the quantity would be.
Well, they probably don't know either. And Nikki, that's a problem in states where marijuana has been legalized. Nobody will tell you how to dose it, so you don't actually even know. What was it? I can't remember who it was, but it was a reporter from like ABC or something. They went to try marijuana and they ate the whole candy bar, and apparently she was only supposed to eat like less than half.
But no one's regulating that
and
part.
she said that she had hours and hours of like hysterical paranoia in which she laid on her bed shaking because she just freaked out.
I mentioned before, like, we eat the whole pan of brownies now. Okay, now you get a little guilt. But if you had the whole pan of marijuana brownies,
maybe you need to take a nap, but
you got
this
something else
thing
going on.
Yeah. Well, I guess this is just a public service announcement. One is don't drive around high, and two
is a bigger problem than people realize.
Oh, it's huge. And maybe don't eat weed either. You know what you could do? You could just avoid it. I know. So old-fashioned.
Going to be a buzzkill.
So old-fashioned, but who's out for a Sunday drive? Which one of us is really old-fashioned now?
How does Nikki put up with Obadiah day after day? It's easy. We pay her. Radio U.
You know what? I want to talk about the F word. It's a word that a lot of people like to use. And then a lot of people don't like to use it because they find the F word very offensive. And of course, I'm talking about forgive.
Thought the other one.
Nobody wants to talk about that F word because when you start talking about forgiving, let's be honest. All right. They don't deserve it anyway. I mean, think about all
and that's what you think every time. It's like you can't help it.
They didn't even ask.
They don't deserve it.
They don't deserve it. And I'll tell you what. Here, hang on. I've got this book I'd like to get out that is loaded with the offenses that this person has dished out over many years.
Maybe it'll make you feel better realizing you're not the only one who feels that way.
Yes.
But sometimes forgiveness is better for you than even them.
I will tell you, there was a person in my life that I used to take some, this is terrible, but I'm going to tell you the truth, that I used to take some consolation like, well, one day God will punish them. One day, and maybe it wasn't quite like that, but my thought was like, one day they'll get what's coming to them.
They'll get what they deserve.
Yeah, they'll get what they deserve. Not keeping in mind the fact that I deserve a few things myself. And it's hard. I'm laughing about it, but it's hard. And you know what? I had that person in my life that I had to forgive, and I didn't want to. It wasn't easy. And it's funny, I have a relationship with God, and God began to talk to me about forgiving that person. And then I did. And then it got worse, because then he wanted me to start doing nice things for them. And I remember telling God, like, well, this is too far. Like, you are taking it
too much,
too far, friend. Like, I did the forgiving thing. You asked that. Now what is this? But I will tell you something that is amazing to me is, of course, that person never really, I don't know if they know how much they hurt me or all those kinds of things, but I do know this, that I was able to get over a lot of things by forgiving them and then going farther and really doing what God was telling me to do and to be nice to them in ways that they did not deserve, and et cetera, et cetera. And in the middle of all of that, I had to face the fact that, you know, like I said, I'm not always great. Sometimes I get what I don't deserve, which is good stuff. And sometimes I don't get what I do deserve, you know, which is bad stuff sometimes for stuff I've done. So look, whatever that person is or that thing is in your life, you need to forgive. I would just want you to know that it can be done. God helped me. And Jesus wants to help you forgive. Jesus knows how to forgive people. He's an expert at it, the best at it, really. And not only does he have forgiveness for you, but he can help you forgive other people. I'm not saying you got to do it in a day. I'm not saying it's going to be right now. But that thing in your heart that has really poisoned you for a long time, God wants to pull that out, that little whatever that is out, and start to heal it and help you do it. So look, just ask. Say, Jesus, I need that. I want you in my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. Let's talk about the F word. It's hard, and he's up for that.
Let's take all of the most mind-numbing things the Riot has ever said and play them again.
It's a stupid idea, but I love it.
It's the Riot on Radio U.
Everyone, I would like to invite you to hold hands with Nikki and I and join us as we head on out to Camp Little Debbie.
I only went to camp when it was, I think, elementary school, and you went for like 3 days.
Okay.
That was mandatory. I've never been to camp outside of that.
In third grade, I went to camp, and I came home because I was homesick.
Oh, really?
You know, that was a tough time of life.
Yeah, it is tough.
I think that I probably would have made it another time. Here's what I got here. We have these Animal Tracks brownies. And by the way, I went to camp after that and had a great time.
So it was just that one time.
Yeah, my friends abandoned me. It's a long story.
Aww.
So, why are all my stories like tragedies?
It's so sad.
Well,
even as little Obie.
Well,
not even little Debbie, but little Obie.
Hey, when I got older, I started spinning them in my direction. Sometimes you gotta get a hold of it, you know? So, Animal Tracks brownies.
That is it seems like it's a summer line of camp stuff.
Yes.
So for Camp Debbie.
Camp Little Debbie.
There's a s'mores one. There's these tree-looking ones, the vanilla ones. Those are good. There's a chocolate one, and now there's these brownies.
Courtesy of Nikki's mom. So, Nikki, here's what I have. We don't have a Bigfoot track.
Sure.
But I've got fox, bear.
Bear. Stop. Bear.
There are 2 bears, actually. 2 foxes and a rabbit. So you want a bear track?
It's like it's a card game.
I think I'll find out what the fox says.
Do you think this is just like that normal chocolate brownie, like from the kids' stuff?
Oh, I know it is just by looking at it.
Okay.
But shh, don't.
What, am I pulling the curtain back? Yes. What is this?
Yeah, Nikki, a lot of people are really excited to find out what it might be.
What does it taste like? Wait, this is going to taste like chocolate, isn't it? It's a chocolate brownie. I guess I normally don't
exactly
like the chocolate brownie.
Yeah, okay.
Well, it's a chocolate brownie, guys. So I would never really go for getting these, like if I had the choice of all the stuff, but it's still a chocolate brownie.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's that chocolate brownie from when we were a kid.
Yeah. I don't buy Little Debbie's anymore, do you?
No, not really, unless it's bought for me.
Well, every once in a while when I'm in the gas station, but see, I don't go inside anymore to get soda. But when I did, sometimes I would be like, wait, those oatmeal cream pies are double-sized? And I'd go in for that.
What do I like when I was a kid? I like the honey buns still.
Oh, really?
Oh.
I actually think Little Debbie. I know Little Debbie, I think they're regional, but I think I feel like Hostess overshadows them sometimes in a way that's not fair. Sometimes in a way that's very fair, but sometimes in a way that's not fair. Because the thing that's nice about Little Debbie is like, there's not a Hostess equivalent to the oatmeal cream pie. They don't have that.
That's all theirs.
Of course, the Ho-Hos kill the Swiss cake rolls. I'm sorry. I think they just do. You know what?
Like, it's good, but it's just a brownie.
You didn't feel like Essence of Bear when you ate the tracks?
No, it's all right. Well, I guess if we have to continue with the day, we do. It's pretty lame, isn't it? You're like, I just ate a brownie for work, and it's like, well, that's all right.
No, I feel the lame part is us complaining about eating the brownie for work. That's the part. That's where it gets lame, guys.
I wanted more of the tree ones.
You wanted a Christmas tree one?
I wanted that one.
Wish the worst of the riot would never end?
Everything that has a beginning has an end.
What is wrong with you? Get our daily podcast through iTunes, Google Play, or the Radio U app.
Now, Nikki, you recently bought a house.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, so Nikki's moved to a new place, so that's really exciting. Now, when looking at a house, what if, I'm your real estate agent, and you and I are talking about some of the things that you're looking for in a house.
Sure.
You need a certain number of bedrooms, certain number of unsoiled potties.
Location, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, like all those things as we're talking through it. And, as you're talking, I am just checking off on my list like, yes, yes, yes.
And then they're supposed to present you the properties that kind of match up to what you're looking for.
That's right. And then I finally say to you, I have the place. And the price has just been reduced.
Great. That means it's maybe been on the market for a little bit. You get a good deal.
You get a recently reduced price. You might have a motivated seller. Mm-hmm. That's another phrase they like to use.
Good one.
Because if they're willing to move on that, they think they can milk you for a little bit more money off because you're in a big hurry to sell. Now, in this particular case, this price reduction is not so much a motivated seller as it is there's been a slight problem with the property.
Well, it's something you can work through.
It's nothing big. It's just something that full disclosure is the law.
Was someone injured there? Injured in a big way?
Okay, so we found a dead body in the basement.
Oh boy.
It was when I was showing it to the last couple that was very excited about the property.
Oh, my gosh.
Now, that just goes to show you that there are other interested buyers.
No, there was, but the guy died.
All right, well...
He's in the basement.
Okay, there were other interested buyers.
Oh, that'd be so terrifying if you were the person looking at the property.
So do you think that you could...
get past that? No, I cannot.
You can't?
In fact, I'd maybe want to sue somebody for putting me through that, because why wouldn't they have gone in the basement already to look over it?
Well, I mean, maybe it just happened.
Well, so did it just happen, or was it someone left there from forever ago?
We don't
There's
know.
No details?
They were just showing the house and body.
There's a dead body down there.
I know, but my question to you is, as a buyer...
I cannot get past that.
Wait a minute, all right? I'm telling you that the buyer is willing to take up to $15,000 off
not enough. Thanks to movies and TV shows,
price.
I can barely turn the lights off. Let alone if there was a body in the basement. I could never go in the basement.
See,
even the main floor would be hard.
My big fear would not be like, it's haunted, it's a ghost. I'd be like, man, the people that dumped the body, that body was probably full of cocaine, so they're going to come back for the body, and then they find us here, and then they're going to be like, whatever, and then they're going to take me away and turn me into a dead cocaine body.
What I like is, and again, the body, that's the sad part, but to be the realtor and have to spin it, we've got many motivated buyers. One is down there already.
And like I said, this ticks all the boxes. There's just one, it's just an asterisk, it's just a small thing, it's no big deal. Found a body there, but let's talk about the backyard. Right? You wanted a fence so the dogs could run and play.
And it's there.
Okay. If they start, I will say, if they really do start digging, really digging at a hole, we did find one body. Hopefully.
I just want more details. If there's ever a follow-up on this, I want to know Like how long has the body been there? Like I just need to know the details.
Let me ask you this. As a potential buyer, does that impact your interest in the home?
Maybe if they were like, this is from the 1900s when this is how we disposed of bodies.
We put them in the basement.
Yeah, it was on a graveyard or something, and it was just a dirt basement. Then maybe, but not if it's like, well, he wasn't here last week, that sort of thing.
No, see, I think I'd be the other way around. Like, if you're telling me it's like ancient burial ground, I don't want to move into that house.
Okay, I think we're saying no.
I mean, but like, you know.
I think we're saying no across the board.
You know, like last week, we don't know where he came from. That seems maybe a little better. But I mean, you know, each scenario has its own unique problems.
Yes, it does.
The Riot talks about wanting a day off, but when do we get a day off from them?
Whoa! You suck at this!
It's the worst of the Riot on Radio U.
So you wouldn't take the house with the body in it. What do you think about this, Nikki? What if I sent you this article about a woman who just converted a van into her new house?
I think that'd be an interesting lifestyle, especially if you could blog about it or make money while you traveled around from doing that.
No.
No, this is just where we're living?
No, I think you're just going to, like, basically, we'll just put you out here in this side lot. Not like a lot of people park over there.
It's like a tiny house, but it's your van.
Yeah, and then, you know, what do you say? Like, you'll pay for a gym membership, and then that's where you'll go shower every day. I mean, I'm hoping that you're planning on showering every day, but I'm not here to judge. You know, who am I?
Dry shampoo can take care of a lot of things.
Well, they do say it robs your skin of essential moisture when you shower too much.
But you've also, you're in your van, so it's fine.
Yeah,
you can't take a shower like that.
Van. So she says she spent about $7,000 on the van, and then she spent all right, well, let's get started here, okay? $7,000 on the van, $3,000 to $4,000 building it out. She says she needs to spend another $3,000 to build it out. And then she had to do some repairs, I assume, to the engine. That was about $2,000. $2,000? So right now she's she thinks when it's all done, for about $12,000 to $13,000.
For her house.
Well, for her van.
So it's having your car and your apartment all put into one.
Right. So you can think about how great that is. You could live at work and never leave.
The only thing, I watched a special of a couple who had done that, and that is how they make money. Like, they travel around and they post about where they're going. And the only thing I felt, and they covered a bit, is how safe you feel.
Right.
Like in certain areas, because, you know, you lock the door, you go in your house or you go in your apartment or whatever. You're surrounded by other people. You're in a neighborhood and stuff.
Them.
Yeah,
you're familiar at least a little bit with the surroundings.
Yeah, but if you're living in a van and traveling and stuff, you are like parking in parking lots where security might not let you, so you don't ever like just sleep very peaceful. Or if you're sleeping by the beach, or if you're sleeping in a Walmart parking lot, it's always someplace different, which I think would be not as settling for me.
She says she only sleeps in safe neighborhoods.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. And you know what? Nothing.
Which I'm sure the safe neighborhood's like, what's this van?
I am sure that
strange van.
It's a white cargo van. A white cargo van pulls in your neighborhood and parks, and you're like, oh, look, they've got free candy.
So you're worried.
Great. You're calling the police for that, and you're like, these people parked in front of my house. I don't know who they are. What's going on?
So that's the only thing that would make me nervous, based on looking at like the tiny house lifestyle if you move it around, or like the tiny van lifestyle.
Where do you go to the bathroom? What if at like 2:00 in the morning you're like, I really have to go to the bathroom?
Well, in this, this wasn't a documentary, but in this other story, you either go outside or
on the people's lawn on the very safe street,
or wherever you're near is probably like a public restroom or a shopping center or like a health club if you go shower and stuff. But so you go to the bathroom before you go to bed.
Well, I mean, yeah,
like you have to.
But like, okay, let's say, for example, you had. I mean, I'm not going to say what it was, but a little something special for dinner.
A stomach ache?
And then, 3:00 in the morning, all of a sudden you're like, I don't feel good.
And then you're driving your car.
Oh my gosh, I'm in a van. What have we done? Whose dumb idea was it to move into a van?
Well, you got to work through it. You made that choice.
No, I'm out. Like, not interested. I mean, like, a little interested. It would be great to have a change of scenery, but then you're sleeping in a van every night. Might as well be in a band at that point.
The Riot sees gas station hot dogs as part of a balanced breakfast.
Is that bad?
Well, not good.
It's The Riot on Radio U.
So there's a patent filing and some other people that are blah, blah, blahing around talking about Google. and how it looks like Google has just either filed a patent or is getting ready to show off sometime this fall what they're going to call their Pixel phones, which would be their headphones, like they're
like the Pixel ones that are out now?
They're calling them Pixel phones, but then there are also Pixel phones.
Yeah, so is it the same?
Well, we don't know, but they say they're expecting a smart headphone from Google, which would be similar to the AirPods, which Apple released last year, I think. Mm-hmm. Which is what I wanted to talk about.
Yes.
When you first got your AirPods, you brought them in. We talked a lot about them, and I haven't heard you say much about them, and I don't see you use them. But I mean, that's just here at work.
Here at work, I have a pair of headphones that I use upstairs.
Right.
But they're here with me.
Oh, they are?
They're in my bag.
So do you use them a lot?
I use them anywhere I have a moment when I'm out doing something and I want to watch something or listen to something. So, yeah, I use them all the time.
So they're that great?
They're that great for exactly what I wanted them to be. I wanted small little earbuds that maybe you didn't even know I had them in.
Okay.
You know, like I pull my hair over it and stuff.
Yes.
But I have sometimes some things I have to do where I have to kill some time while other people are doing things around me.
Yeah.
So they work perfect for it.
Now, do you use them for
phone calls?
Well, I was going to say working out.
Oh, not as much, but plenty of people do. It just depends on what you're working out with and your ear structure.
Sure.
I swear my left ear is a little different than my right ear.
No, mine is too. And that, to be clear, that's very common.
It's very common. So, like, my right ear, I could totally work out with it, but I don't know if my left ear would want that.
Fall out.
Yeah, if it would want that to happen if you're moving around a lot.
I have some inexpensive Samsung earbuds that what they have is there are several different ear fittings in there, and one of them has like a wing on it that rests. Dude, that makes those earbuds stay in practically no matter what.
Yeah, see, I wish that you could have more, because yes, again, with most earbuds, you have the three little various shapes of which plastic thing do you want to put in your earbud. For the AirPods, like, what you get is what you get. Right,
they don't offer any. I'll bet there's some third-party
coverings or something?
Like something like that.
Maybe.
I mean, if you wanted that. But you said phone calls are good?
Yeah, I love them. So they're always in my purse, which is exactly what I wanted them to be.
I have an expensive pair of Bluetooth headphones. I bought them for working out, and they have a strap on them, which is fine. Like, I don't have any problem with the strap or whatever. But I do think the aesthetic of the Bluetooth, the AirPods that you have, looks super cool. And in case you guys haven't figured it out, Nikki and I are suckers for headphones.
Well, it's the product of the nature of our job.
I do think our job has a lot to do with it, but I have a great appreciation for a great pair of headphones. Now, I don't have a $1,500 pair of headphones at home. I'm not an audiophile, but I do love a good pair of headphones.
So you were saying the Google was talking about, so the Pixel thing should be
There are rumors that these headphones, that we will see them probably from Google this fall. And some people have called them Pixel phones, so that it's like all one word, but it's confusing because there are Pixel telephones, if that's what you could call this smartphone that we have here. So we'll see. I, of course, am a little interested in looking at them, but I'm going to hold back. I'm not going to buy any because I have enough headphones.
Well, that's true, but you never know when they actually come out.
Just keep telling yourself that.
Maybe your other ones will all break.
They're just terrible now.
The worst of the riot is over, but the fun can keep going.
Hey, I saw you checking out my goods.
Check the Riot blog or stalk us on social media.
You want to sample them? A little try before you buy, huh?
Through riot.radiou.com.
If we were going to say something about maturity, we'd need to take all our clothes off first.